Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I'm going to be reviewing a new album by a new wave of British heavy metal band called Praying Mantis. So the name of the album is called Katharsis, and it was released on January 28th, 2022. So please remember, if you're new here, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, and let me get right into the album. So I did mention that this band was part of the new wave of British heavy metal scene, but they did have a sound that was different than their predecessors. You know, bands like Iron Maiden and Saxon, they were kind of like a little different than them. This band had more of like an AOR or arena rock sound. So the band formed before the aforementioned bands. Actually, in 1973, they were back in college, and they were formed by the Troy brothers, who were Tino and Chris, and two others, Pete Moore and Chris Hudson. So they started to tour with some big name bands. They toured with Iron Maiden. They eventually got a recording contract. They released their debut album in 1981 called Time Tells No Lies. After that, the band took a long hiatus. And since they did have a fan base in Japan, they reformed in about 1990. And they have been releasing albums pretty consistently, maybe every couple of years. They might have took a break here and there. And that leads up to the new album, Katharsis, released on Frontier Records. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The album has 11 songs, and let me talk about them. So the first song was called Cry for the Nations. This one starts out with a slow building intro. It kind of has like piano and pounding drums. The guitars come in with melodic sound, a little similar to like power metal. I guess my first impression of the vocals, that they reminded me of like Europe's The Final Countdown. The song's a music video and has a very epic vibe to it. Actually, I really like the lead guitar melodies in this song. So if you like 80s melodic rock, I think you might be able to get into this. Track number 2 is called Closer to Heaven. This one has a sound a little more like an 80s power ballad, has those soaring vocals and melodies. The song also has a music video, and the song is filled with a very big sound, supported by power chords and melodic leads. And I think the lead guitar melodies really stand out in this song. Track 3 is called Ain't No Rock and Roll in Heaven. This one brings back some of that like classic arena rock sound. The riffs are a little harder, but at the same time, it brings in like a heavy blues rock sound. Again, on this track, the lead guitar melodies are very like memorable. Track 4 is called Non Omnis Moriar, and it's a melodic rocker. The guitar riff sounds really good. Even reminded me a little of like early Iron Maiden. The chorus was very melodic and memorable. Track 5 is called Long Time Coming. This was a straightforward rocker, has like power chords and a bouncy beat. The song has a sound similar to that of like 80s melodic rock. So in the lyrics, they talk about being on tour, missing their home life, while at the same time telling us, you know, it is their like purpose to rock. I really like the twin guitar harmonies in this song. Track 6 is Sacrifice, and I think this is where the album does start to get pretty good. It does have like a slightly darker tone. It starts with some tribal drumming and a very like a darker melody, but it's a slower moving song, kind of retains that melodic rock sound. As always, the chorus is memorable. One of the songs that may kind of stick with you after a few listens. Track 7 is called Wheels in Motion. Another ballad, kind of starts with keyboard and melodic vocals. The lead guitar melodies are present as usual. The drums sound very good on the song. They do hold the rhythm very well. Track 8 is called Masquerade. This one has a darker tone, a riff a little more reminiscent of like traditional new wave of British heavy metal. I actually like this one a lot. The vocals remind me a little of like Ronnie James Dio at times. Twin guitar leads sound very good. The song is slower paced and a little kind of brooding. Vocals are great and lots of highs and lows throughout the song. Track 9 is Find Our Way Back Home. This is another power ballad, very 80s arena rock sound. Keyboards are a little more prominent in the sound, and actually the vocals reminded me a little of Ian Astbury from The Cult. Track 10, Don't Call Us Now. Track 10 starts with a slow melodic lead guitar riff, but this is another one with more of a classic heavy metal sound. The song is a mid-paced rocker. It uses the backing vocals to make things more memorable. And I do kind of like the folk metal riffing, kind of like a nice change of pace. The final song is called The Devil Never Changes, and this one has a slow building intro, kind of goes into a very melodic guitar riff. I like the drum sound in this one. The chorus is also very memorable. The song also has some cool backing vocals. The guitar solo on this one is a shredder, and pretty cool way to close out the album. So in conclusion, now when I first listened to this album, I didn't like it that much. I think I kind of went into it expecting the band to have a sound like Judas Priest, so at first I actually wasn't going to review this album, but I gave it another listen, and then it did kind of start to click with me. Now, I'm not saying I was kind of blown away by the album. I did find many of the songs enjoyable. The songs that were my favorites were Cry for the Nations, Sacrifice, Masquerade, and Don't Call Us Now. I think what stands out the most is the guitar on this album. I found myself focusing more on like the riffs and tone of the song. It did have some ballads. I thought they were kind of maybe just okay for me. All in all, a decent album. I will give this a final score of 7 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. So that is all. Up next, I did have something on my community poll where I was asking about some anniversary reviews that you guys were interested in. I'm only going to do the top 2, which would be Alice in Chains' Sap and Neil Young's Harvest, and those will be done in the next 2 days. They will still be the same format of where I won't be on screen. So anyway, that's all. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Check out some of the other videos I have on my channel, and I will see you all in the next one.